On May 2nd, voters in the Ann Arbor Public Schools will consider a sinking fund millage. We've received a few questions. To help answer them, joining me is Ann Arbor Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Jeanice Swift.
Hi, Andrew. It's great to be here to answer the questions that we're hearing in the community.
Back in 2015, Ann Arbor Public Schools voters approved a bond for approximately $33 to $34 million. And I'm seeing that this sinking fund millage, some of the funds may go to projects that weren't fully funded by that 2015 bond. So what was the money from the 2015 bond used for?
Thank you. Well, you know, Andrew, in 2015, our voters supported the 2015 bond. And that was a levy that we were able to raise through no additional levy to the taxpayers. So it was capturing the benefit of historically low interest rates. And we generated that amount of money, which we've used, and we've published a brochure, Andrew, so I hope folks will look on our website or pick one up in the school office as they're out. But we use that money for classroom environment, that's for furnishings that we're just getting started on, but we have quite a lot out there already. For two areas in performing arts, both musical instruments. You know, by this fall, approximately 5,000 new instruments will be in the hands of students being used in our classrooms. Also performing arts facilities, so our auditoriums, our multi-purpose rooms. We also are working on playground updates. Now, while every elementary school is somewhere in this process, as you would expect, some have already finished their playgrounds and others are just getting started. But this funded a playground renewal for every single one of our elementary schools. We also have athletic field refurbishment, which is very important for our ball diamonds, for our soccer fields, and then finally security upgrades and school buses. You may not realize it, but 68 brand new school buses have renewed our aging fleet. So you see, we've accomplished a lot. So what the 2015 bond has covered really is illustrated in our brochure. It's an update on the 2015 bond. In the left-hand column are those projects that are completed. Down the middle of the brochure are those projects currently in progress. So all of these items will be in a school working for children before the beginning of this next school year. Along the right-hand column are those items that were not fully funded under the 2015 bond. These are the items that would move over into the sinking fund if we're able to get the support of our community. Now, I do need to mention that two areas, classroom furnishings and musical instruments, are not legal to be used for sinking fund dollars. So those two areas would not move over.
Okay, so now I understand a little bit more about what the 2015 bond was spent on, but it still seems like some schools, I'm not really noticing much of a difference. Why am I not seeing more of these items in my school already?
Right. So it is interesting, Andrew, to see how the projects roll out and how schools at the local school and neighborhood level, what they're able to see actually from our bonds and millages. So we know that every elementary school will see a playground. We know that those 68 buses drive all over the city to every school in the district. The flat green space on which children may play and compete, that will happen at every single school in the district. The musical instruments will be furnished in every school in our district. So there are, Andrew, throughout this 2015 bond, there are enhancements that go to every school.
Well, what was the process and why has it taken 2 years and we still aren't seeing that much?
So that is a great question. We decided at the outset of this bond that it would be a full community engagement process. So I'm so proud of the 6 committees, the 6 advisory groups that have been working for the previous 18 months. You know, Andrew, we could have made those decisions very quickly. We could have purchased the items and they could be in schools. But we wanted this to be a collaborative, community-based decision process. So each of those groups has been working. They've been bringing their recommendations. And so we have evidence in their work that these decisions have been made in the best way possible. We've received feedback and input from students, from parents, from community members. The committees have done a full assessment of our current status in each of those 6 areas. So we know exactly what is the desired outcome, and we know exactly what is our current reality. And these processes are working through so that the decisions are based in a collective wisdom. And so we're really proud of those processes, and yet we know at a neighborhood school, folks might not have seen a great deal of work yet. We understand that that's true. I also want to add, Andrew, that particularly in our oldest of schools, so those 5 schools that are getting ready to turn 100, and what a great day in Ann Arbor, our historic schools. Some people call them vintage, but I call them historic. So when we think about Ann Arbor, Open, Angel, Baugh, Burns Park, and Community High School, we know that when we go in to restore and renew those facilities, they're going to require a great deal of work just by virtue of their age. And so we will, if we're able to get the support of the community, we will be moving into those facilities to do work. But when we go there, it will be a comprehensive redo. It'll be a complete restoration of the property. So those are areas where we've not rushed out to do small projects early on in this process because we sense that there are big projects coming.
Well, thank you for explaining the 2015 bond and how it connects to this 2017 sinking fund millage that voters are considering on May 2nd. Please see our a2schools.org website for more information.